Hi guys, it's Amy Conway here and I'm here with a very exciting offer that we have at Bobbi Brown this month over on QVC. Now it's all about how do you get your foundation to look at its very best as we go from summer to autumn to winter. Because let's face it, it's really hard. You almost want to treat your skincare like a wardrobe and your foundation should be the same. So I'm going to go through your key things of how to find the right foundation for you that's going to be perfect for all your foundation needs this season. I'm going to start, we have lots of exciting ones here I have to say. I'm going to start with my favourite and in fact the #1 foundation we have at Bobbi Brown, and it is the Skin Foundation Stick. Now this is so versatile. You can touch up throughout the day, it's brilliant if you're on the go. I find the absolute perfect foundation for mums on the run. And I also find the perfect foundation for if you have any parties coming up this season, because it's important that your skin needs to look fresh and, you know, just really revived and giving you that plumpness and hydration that we want all the time, just in that moment. So Skin Foundation Stick is a great one to touch up. If you're after a lightweight coverage, you can make this like a tinted moisturizer because it's so versatile in how you get your coverage from it. You could apply it on top of your moisturizer. I really love this. In fact, if you want to pop your hydrating setting spray, which I'm almost going to call it its best friend. So you can pop a little hydrating setting spray on top of it or underneath it, and that will kind of take the consistency down a little so you've got something really lightweight for day. Then as you're going into evening, we know it's important that you want that little bit of extra coverage, but just in certain areas. And this is what's so brilliant about the stick. You can touch up, in fact, you can just draw that on. I'm going to do a little bit now, just in the areas where you naturally maybe get a little more redness, for pigmentation, blemishes, and then I'm going to go in and just press just with my fingertips and push that into the skin. Now, by pushing it in, not only am I taking out the colour or discoloration that I have in that area, so for instance in winter when we all get super red noses, you want to banish that straight away, you can see how easy that just blends in with the rest of my makeup and super quick. So this I find is your must-have for winter and must-have for your handbag. But say if you love a really full coverage foundation and maybe you like to use a liquid every single day, we know that it's not as easy to be taking your liquid out in your handbag, on the go, on the tube, in the car. That's when you apply your Skin Foundation Stick straight on top of that. And it's perfect for maybe if you suffer from a bit of pigmentation across the under eye or the cheeks, or maybe a bit of rosacea as we go into the colder months. Take your stick foundation and apply just on top of that cheek to really take the colour down. Not only will it banish it instantly, it will still give you that natural skin weightless finish without it looking like a mask. And I think it's safe to say we go into foundation and we kind of apply a really full coverage right the way over the skin, and then it almost feels too heavy and we don't even need that amount of coverage. That's when your Skin Foundation Stick will really allow you to go in and layer exactly where you want that coverage and pinpoint it so you don't look like you're wearing heavy foundation all over. So this is why it's my favourite. It's a must-have. You can pair this with, as I say, the setting spray, and this is hydrating 3-in-1 setting spray. So as I say, pop it on underneath or on top. In fact, why not? It's perfect, just again, as that quick little refresh throughout the day. Or if you like to have a really high SPF and protection, I also love to mix it with this. Now, this is the Primer Plus Protective Face Base, and it's SPF 50. Brilliant if you want to pop that on all over first to ensure that you've got that protection, and then go on with a little bit of stick just in the areas where you want it. Dream combo. Next, this is exciting. I'm going to call this the youthful glow. So I think it's safe to say as we go into winter, the skin starts to look a little more duller or maybe more sallow, and it needs that boost of energy and that little added like extra plumpness to the skin. I have to say this is my mum's favourite because naturally she likes the skin to look really youthful and dewy. We know that naturally makes the skin look more hydrated and plump. So this is the Intensive Skin Serum Foundation, and it is the most protective foundation out of all of our formulas with SPF 40 and this great applicator where you can apply just as much as you want. This will go right the way over the skin and give you that all over dewy glow. So I'm going to apply that in fact just to my hand so you guys can see. If you're super dry or again naturally feel like you're lacking that radiance, this is the must-have foundation for you. So get that instant glow into the skin straight away. And of course you can apply a primer underneath to give you that all-day wear. I personally would pair this with the Radiance Plus primer, and this still has SPF 35, so you're still keeping that protection in the skin, but I'm just going to show you a little bit of that on the skin there. You can almost see it has like this slight undertone of pink, and I stress pink and not red because what it will do is it will counteract any redness in the skin for you. It will balance and even out the skin tone. It will help reduce the appearance of fine lines, dehydration and pigmentation, and that can go underneath any of the foundations, but if it's radiance specifically that you're lacking, pop it on underneath the Intensive Skin Serum Foundation. So what's so unique about Intensive Skin Serum Foundation is that it has an ingredient in here called cordyceps mushroom. Sounds fancy, I know, but it is a fab product to keep the energy in the skin. And what this does, and I think it's safe to say we've all been there where we put foundation on at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and you get to 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and one, it can either look like it's not there, but two, it can look really dull or heavy on the skin and not keeping that brightness, or maybe just slightly dehydrated in areas. When you have a product like cordyceps mushroom in there, it's a treatment. So because it's a serum as well, it means it locks in all of that water, moisture, hydration that we need throughout the day. And it ensures that your foundation will not look dry or uneven as we go throughout the day. It will keep that brightness and radiance which we need. And that's why it's my mum's favourite. Also my favourite, I have to say, probably more for like when I want that little bit of like glow in the summer. But this is my mum's favourite all year round. So that's a great one. What about if you're the complete opposite in skin? What about if you naturally get really, really oily? And I find this especially for evening. In fact, if I had to name it something, I'd call it the ultimate party foundation. And that is because it's so long wear. So this is Skin Long Wear Weightless. 16-hour wear, does not budge, yet it still looks so flawless and so natural. So I think when we think of such a long wear foundation, we almost think that it would be heavy or cakey, and this is the complete opposite. So Skin Long Wear Foundation is not only oil-free, it will absorb any excess oil, control any oil throughout the day, but will still ensure that any dehydrated areas, like predominantly on the cheeks, stay hydrated. So I'm going to show you this as I go on. You can see instantly it's a medium to full coverage, and that's what's really unique about the finish of this. But apply right the way over the skin, and if you do love full coverage, or you just want to make sure that none of those blemishes or pigmentation or redness or anything like that coming through, you can still jump straight back in to the Skin Foundation Stick and use that as your touch-up as well. But I find pretty much as an all-day wear, you're absolutely fine with this. You have everything covered, and I find that it just absorbs oil the best. If you do need, though, a little something extra, and maybe you're super oily by 11 AM, that's when you would need a little help from your primer. And again, you have a best friend for this, of course, and it's called the Primer Plus Mattifier. Now, this almost has a liquid powder in it. What it will do is it will instantly take out any oil. So I'm going to show you on this area here. It will mattify straight away, and you don't need a lot of it. So I would really recommend for anyone that's normal to combination, take this just down the T-zone. It will blur any imperfections, it will smooth out any open pores, great for any textured areas, so you can use just on the outer corners of the eyes. I find it's brilliant if you love a good amount of concealer, but maybe you don't want to show any fine lines or dehydration. That will blur it out instantly for you. When you're thinking party, and maybe you want to wear a bold lip or a bright red lip, do apply it around the lip line as well, because where it is so brilliant at blurring any texture and smoothing out any fine lines, it will also give you that smoother appearance when you're going in with a bold lip colour. But it will also make sure that that lip colour doesn't bleed. So for me, it's a winner when you're wanting your makeup to stay put, and you can pair that with Skin Long Wear Weightless Foundation, so nothing will budge them. And then finally, we go into Skin Foundation. Now this is actually our favourite foundation at Bobbi Brown, and it's Skin Foundation SPF 15. Great if you're kind of one of those women that like to wear a tinted moisturiser throughout the summer, like something quite light and natural, but as we come into winter, you feel like you need something a little bit extra. And that's fine, but maybe you don't want to jump as full coverage as the other foundations. Skin Foundation is a light to medium coverage, and it's great because it is still so hydrating. This gives that really natural dewy look, a healthy flush, doesn't look like you're wearing foundation at all, but covers all the areas that we don't want to see. So I find this is perfect if you suffer from maybe a touch of redness, bit of redness around the nose as it gets cold, maybe a little bit of darkness in areas, or maybe slightly darker on the chin or the forehead. Skin Foundation SPF 15 will make sure that you can even all of that out without it looking like makeup. Now, I think it's safe to say, I know so many women that this is a favourite. In fact, this is actually the favourite bridal foundation because it is so natural. But you can pair these again with any of the primers, which I find so easy. So if you like to add that added protection, again, jump in with the SPF 50 so that you're making sure that you've not only got a really high protective formula, but a nice natural lightweight formula at the same time. So that will combat too. And again, another one of my personal favorites for this has to be the 3-in-1 hydrating setting spray. Apply all the way over to clean skin, press a little bit of moisturizer in there, then take your foundation on top and apply again right the way over to seal it all in place. And that will still give you that natural lightweight coverage that you could take into evening, super easy, again, if you wanted to with Skin Foundation Stick. But again, so wearable for work, so wearable for day, so wearable for when you just don't want a lot on the skin. And that's why it's one of our favorites. So I think you can agree, it's exciting, right? I think we've got a good amount of formulas. We've got something for everyone, whether you're dry, dehydrated, oily, slight pigmentation, slight acne, we have everything here for you. And however you want your skin to look, we are going to be showing a whole lot more on our show this month. So tune in 30th of September at 9 p.m, where I'll be there, we'll be there with lots of guests and showing you all different skin tones and all different skin types to show you how to get your best foundation for autumn winter. See you there. Bye.